This is Pesha Fisher recording for the Amudim Teshuva series. Okay, so we're on Parak K today, and I hope you all noticed that there was something missing from this parak that has been apparent in all the other prakim, and that is that the focus of this parak seems to be less about tshuva and more about choices, free will. Right? It's more about free will. In fact, we're introduced to Rambam's view on mankind, and that is that for mankind, something is a reshut, right? Something is a choice. And the choice is whether you're a tzaddik or a rasha, right? For the Rambam, it seems very simple. You can choose at any given point in your life whether you're going to be a tzaddik like Moshe Rabbeinu or a rasha like Yeravam ben Nevat. What's interesting about this is that he bases this on a pasuk in Breshit, Hein ha'adam haya ka'achad mimenu ladat tov vara. Klomar, he says, Hein min zeh shel adam, mankind is yachid ba'olam, is special in the world, ve'in min zeh domelo b'zeh ha'inyan. Right, man is individual, unique. There's no one like them in the world. Why? It's actually funny when you think about it. Sheyehu mi'atzmo b'da'ato b'machshavato yodea hatov ha'ra, because mankind himself, can know fully the difference between right and wrong, and at the same time, oseh mashu chafetz, and do whatever he wants anyway. Right? There's no other species that can say like, oh yeah, I understand that this would be the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, and then just choose what they want to choose. This is what makes mankind unique and special. The Ktav HaKabbalah says it's not just mankind, it's the concept of living in this world, right? That we live in Eretz, right? That's where we live. We live in the land. And the shoresh of Eretz is, he says, right, ratz or ratzon. That our entire lives are based on the free choice that we have, or the free will that we have, to make the right choices or the wrong choices. And the way the Rambam kind of sets up this concept is that tshuva is not something that you have to do. It's something that you have the opportunity to do if you choose to take that opportunity. That's the concept of reshut, right? It's out there, it's a possibility for you, and you can decide whether or not you're going to make that choice. I will add that he uses the word tipesh here, right? Stupid. When he says, you shouldn't have, right? She'omrim tipshei umot ha'olam v'rov gamei b'nei Yisrael she'akadosh baruch hu gozer al adam mitchilat briato liot tzadik or rasha. Right? Like, don't be like the stupid people of the world that thinks that God, decides what you're going to be like when you grow up. Know that there's totally free choice. Now, where does nurture play a role in this? Because this seems to be a nature-only approach, right? You decide how you're going to do it. Is it based on your surroundings? Maybe.
It doesn't clarify it.
Right.
All it clarifies is that you're not predetermined.
It's not predetermined.
But I feel like that's not nature. Because nature would be predetermined.
Nature would be predetermined. So maybe it's like strong on the nurture, but with a heavy element on free choice. Yeah. Meaning, even if you have a terrible life, you can still decide at that moment to be a good person. Right? I'm reading a book right now called Demon Copperhead.
I read that.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's fabulous. Based on Davy Copperfield, but it's much more depressing because everything in this kid's life is terrible. Right? His mother dies, well, almost dies, giving birth to him. He goes through a series of foster homes. At a certain point, he has a step-parent, right, who is abusive. Everything is terrible. And what is he trying to do? What's his goal? Survive. And not just survive, but maintain, and he's trying to figure out, what does it mean to be a person? right? How do you maintain your humanity despite everything that is happening to you or happening around you? That's like his mission to figure out. And I will add that the Rambam, when he says that you have this reshut, he's saying you have to find it yourself. Nobody could help you find it, which also means that no one can guide you through the tshuva process, which is ironic coming from Rambam Hilchot Teshuva, that you have to come to it on your own and figure it out. Now, what has Rambam already given to us in previous prakim?
Ways to get it.
Correct, the steps, right? It's almost like the AA, steps, but this is the steps towards tshuva, right? He gives us the steps that
Rambam did it first.
yes, totally. Here's how you can do it. Here's how you can do it. But he never says, here's how you have to do it. If you choose to do tshuva, then I'm going to give you some ways that you might direct yourself. But know that at any point, the choice is yours. There's never a point where the choice gets closed off for you. And that's really the theme of the entire parak. Yeah.
But in the last chapter, he said that there's a bunch of people that can't.
Correct. Whose reshut gets taken away from them.
No, even in the last chapter, it says there's always, the last line is, that nobody is ever, really taken away from all of them.
Right, that's the last line. Kol elu hadvarim v'yotzei behem, afal pi shemakvim et hatshuva, ein mon'in ota. Right, doesn't prevent it. Ela im asadam tshuva mehem, harei zeh bal teshuva v'yesh lo chelek le'olam haba. Right, there's always an opportunity. I heard you and your chavrusa talking about Paro. Paro's heart is hardened. And how could that work if harashut, right, is available for all of us? So the Rambam deals with that, and he talks about the idea that at a certain point of having a ton of free will and not almost acting on that free will, you have hardened your own heart rather than it being external.